Hey everybody, it's Alpal here. Today we're taking another look at Doom Eternal with an arena analysis. And before we get into that, if you like this type of content and want to see me do some more arena analyses, leave a comment below, tell me which one you want me to look at, because this is a very good tool for me to learn my mistakes in my gameplay, and maybe it'll help other newer players get better as well. And if we're lucky enough, some experienced players will watch this and give us some insight into what we can do better to move on. But aside from that, let's go ahead and dig into the meat of this here. As you can see, this is on Exultia. We're playing on Nightmare. And this is an arena that I wanted to look at because this is one that always gives me trouble in the early game. And so, with me prospecting the idea that I want to do Ultra Nightmare, this is an arena that I am going to have to get good at, to say the least. But basically, we want to enter with 3 chainsaw pips, take out the second arachnotron that spawns. We're going to run and gun, take them out from there. We do 3 attempts. The first one we do with all weapons, then we put weapon limitations into practice so that we're getting realistic practice at this specific arena. And then the last one we're going to look at is actually a Slayer Gate that went surprisingly well with the same weapon limitations in place as well. And just to kind of break down that weapon limitation, at this point in the game you should only have grenades, the plasma gun, the combat shotgun, and the heavy cannon. I do slip up a little bit with the ice bomb, but I try to stick to my limitations in these attempts. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in our first attempt. Okay, so first things first is we're going to take out this arachnotron. We really don't want to deal with his long-range capabilities, but we're a little clumsy with it because we ran into him and took some damage that we probably could have avoided. Next on our list is the Revenant, and we make pretty short work of him here. Feels pretty neat. He does get a hit on us, so we're still taking unnecessary damage, but that's fine. We see the Hell Knights coming in, so we're gonna kind of occupy this space and wait for him, I guess. And it's a good point to make about my awareness. I seen him there, and he's a little bit difficult to see in regards to the arena that we're in. With the Hell Knight out, all that's left is this Cacodemon. We're still taking a little bit of damage, but it's not... we're actually doing semi-okay here. Now that we've taken out the Cacodemon, we can go and follow through with our strategy of chainsawing the second arachnotron that comes in. And then all that's left is the last arachnotron. And this is something we'll see later on in my other attempts, that I could be using that rune a little bit better, but aside from that, it's nothing too major. But basically, this is the end of it. There are some accuracy issues, but with all of the end game upgrades and stuff, this fight is relatively simple. We just put out too much damage to be overran by the demons here. And so we're going to just finish up by killing this last arachnotron and loading the checkpoint, because we've basically finished this here. So in review, with the higher firepower and the endgame upgrades, I can make quick work of the demons in this arena. I really have to consider positioning. There is one space that I like to occupy, and it's that little area next to the jump pad. And I should be moving around a little bit more, keeping the enemies spread out so that I can take them out more efficiently without risking too much damage when they're all clumped together. So those are some of the things I noticed. I could be working on accuracy quite a bit more, but that comes with experience. So, and yeah. So with that being said, this next attempt is the start of the weapon limitations, which would mean I can only use the plasma gun, the combat shotgun, and the heavy cannon, and grenades. I try to not use the ice bombs, but I do slip up. So I get so used to having all of this stuff that I'd like to switch to it as often as I can. So, yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and look at this first attempt here. Okay, so now we're just preparing for our weapon limitations. We're going to go after this arachnotron first. We have a really nice shot on their turret. That's good. We're going to be able to take him out relatively quickly. But we need to kind of pay attention to those grenades. They operate, the way they function isn't how they seem, almost, right? With their explosion and splash damage and stuff like that. So now we're waiting for the Revenant, and this is where things start to go bad. I would say I'm panicking, but I would also say that I'm not paying attention to what's happening behind me. I'm kind of just trying to occupy this area, but I'm not... There's just nothing good to come from it. Poor awareness again. Maybe a light at the end of the tunnel, but we get a little bit greedy with this Hell Knight, so we're going to break down this whole clip and look at this. So we're waiting for the Revenant. We aimed too high. That shot would have hit if we aimed a little bit lower. We're going for those weak points, but instead of using the Chrono Shift rune, I'm trying to just frantically hit them. But we do get the glory kill on the Revenant, and we still have a relatively high health, but we waste our Flame Belch there, and that wasn't good because that could have gave us armor later. Now, I was thinking that the Hell Knight was going to jump over that ledge, and so I kept backstepping and shooting, not paying attention to what could be behind me. And so that's a question of awareness right there. Then, you know, it looks like we might get out of this. There's some health over there from the gargoyles. We faltered the Hell Knight and got him with the Ice Bomb, which was a mistake. I shouldn't be using that. But the health that I would have got from that was completely negated by the fodder behind me, and that's what led to me dying right there. So, a lot of issues there, but let's just kind of break it down again. So I have a favorite area in this arena, and the reason being is that, you know, around the corner there is a health pack and a monkey bar to jump over to the other side of the arena. Yeah, that's great, but I'm not using it, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on in my surroundings to know that demons are going to be occupying that area eventually anyway, so it's a tough call. I probably need to be moving... No, actually, I would say I definitely need to be moving around the arena much more often to keep these enemies spread out. Also, you know, my aim is just... It's pretty poor when I need it the most, and I don't utilize all of my abilities, mainly the Chrono Shift rune. That is such a lifesaver when you're trying to take out things that, you know... When you're trying to take advantages away from the demons, it's a good rune to use, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's about all I can say about that one. There were some definite issues, and things could be handled better, but that's just how it turned out. But let's go ahead and get into the next clip here. Okay. So, same thing, we're going for the Arachnotron first. Though, we're a little trigger happy on our Chrono Shift because we know we need to be using it a little bit more effectively, but we waste it there, so it's kind of, you know, like, what's the point? Now here, if we had shot and dashed faster, we wouldn't have taken any damage, I don't think. Or, I mean, it's hard to say, but I feel like if we reacted a little bit faster, we wouldn't have taken it, I think. So, still pretty rough aim here, but we see we got the glory kill, so we're gonna take that. Now we're gonna fire some shots into this Hell Knight. We're gonna take way too much damage, and it's gonna force us to blow our blood punch on that fodder. Because we want to stabilize and get through this, but we didn't account for him being on the other side of that, and that's kind of on us. Luckily, we had 2 blood punches because we have late game upgrades, but now this is the part that I'm going to be highlighting here soon. So it looks like it could go either way, but we're taking the right steps here to make sure we don't die right out the gate, and we're following through with our strategy of chainsawing the Arachnotron. Now all that's left is 1, so I think for the most part we do the right thing here. We reposition to take out the turret, and then we want to focus them down at range, so to speak, so we're not getting meleeed, but we've made some mistakes, and it's going to cost us our life. There it goes. So let's break down this clip real quick. So we know the Cacodemons coming because we just killed the Hell Knight. we take damage from them, but we land the sticky nade. And then, instinctively, we flame belch the Cacodemon and get the glory kill. So we're at a somewhat stable health and armor. Get the chainsaw, so we refill all of our ammo, and even get a little extra health out of it, and even drop a grenade. So there's good equipment use there, and following through with our initial strategy. Then we're repositioning to take out this Arachnotron turret, picking the right tools for the job, and using the rune correctly. Or at least properly. I guess that means the same thing, right? Jeez. Now here's where things start to fall apart. I know I don't want to be standing still, so I go in for a blood punch, and that was the mistake, because that knocked me down to 49. And I see that there's a glory kill, and I want it, but I can't make it, and it's probably a good thing. I would have died faster if I had. So we try to get the glory kill on this soldier, but the spider jumps down and kind of says no. And for the... I don't know how many times I watched that. I didn't think I activated the mod, but I did, and it didn't seem to help. So, some good things and bad things in this one. Our aim is still a little off, but we're starting to use the chrono shift in a more effective manner, so that we're actually able to hit those weak spots that we have been missing in the first attempts that I took at this. Also, I would say that my reaction, my ability to react to the situation has gotten better. Like, especially with that last part that I highlighted, things really went well. So, but that's really all I can really say about that one. Obviously some mistakes, but things that are somewhat easy to correct, or at least to start putting into practice. Now this next one is the one where I actually finish it. We're going to be, following the same strategy of clearing the first 2 waves of heavies, and then chainsawing the Arachnotron that spawns in the last phase here. So let's go ahead and check out this final attempt. Okay, so this one gets, we actually handle this first section of the arena relatively quickly. So we're going to break down this first section because it's probably one of my best plays of this arena. Other than, these missed shots. But, we're making good decisions. We're not staying in that little area next to the monkey bars, or close to the monkey bars. We just stand around a little bit and take some damage that we didn't need to. But let's go ahead and break this down. So we're going in, we're going after the Arachnotron. It looks as though we aim just a little bit too high on the turret, and so we don't actually hit it, but that's fine. Yeah, it just barely missed. A little bit lower, we would have had it. We get some shots in, launch a grenade at it, which is good. I see the Revenant up there, and so, like, instinctively I was like, maybe I could get a shot on him. And then I pulled that off, which was rough. But proper use of the rune we're using of here. We're going to get a couple of good shots on this Revenant. And with that barrel and the blood punch, he was taken out of the equation relatively quickly. And then it's just on this Arachnotron, which I realize you can shoot their grenades and take them out. But after that, we're on to the next section here. So I know that the Hell Knight's coming, so I'm going to launch a couple of grenades to kind of settle him down. A couple of really good explosive shots there to weaken him quite a bit. I'm still backing up a lot towards this corner. That's not a good idea. And then with my speed boost, sorry about my phone, with the speed boost I missed that jump pad, but we wanted the high ground to take out that Cacodemon anyway. And then, the rest of this is pretty straightforward. We're going to chainsaw this Arachnotron. And then we're going to... We all actually almost die. I wouldn't say it's straightforward because there are still some mistakes being made. Like right there. But the blood punch seems to save us. And then, lo and behold, we remember that this health pack is here. And so now it's just taking out the Arachnotron. And we do almost die again, but there was plenty of health drops around that we were able to get through it. And now all that's left, well, that was a wasted flame belch, and that's probably not a good thing to practice, but all that's left is gargoyles, so it's pretty much cleanup. So, yeah, not a bad run there. There are some issues, you know. I need to have better control of the Doomslayer, because I noticed with like the speed boost, I'm missing the things that I'm going for, like that jump pad to reposition for the Cacodemon. My aim is still a little atrocious, but I think that first clip highlighted some really good things about like my decision making. Sometimes when I get in the zone, I make good plays like that, but other times they're just not there. So, I do need to make good use of my Flame Belch. That is a tool that is best served on groups of enemies and not just single targets. I like it on Cacodemons because it's a guaranteed, you know, you're getting all the armor for your Flame Belch there. But I really should be prioritizing groups of demons with that instead of just single targets to maximize my armor pickups. But that's something that I just really need to start putting into practice. So this last clip that we're going to look at is my attempt at the Slayer Gate. It goes relatively well, despite the fact that, you know, I'm still using the weapon limitations, and but I'm still like end game Doomslayer, you know. So it goes well, but I feel like I have a pretty decent strategy with dealing with this Slayer Gate in general. So I just thought it'd be a good one to take a look at. Just kind of see if there are things that I could do better, see what I was doing that was working, and kind of just work off of that, because this is something I want to work into my Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare runs, is getting through these Slayer Gates without dying, you know, and we do that here. So let's take a look at it. So we're going to use the Plasma Gun, because I've been watching some speedrunners. I'm not going to drop any names here, but this is where they get a lot of the ticks for their Heat Blast mastery, at least the guy I watched. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to try it here, and it seems to work really well. The Heat Blast just does work on these demons, the fodder. And it helps that, you know, I have all this endgame stuff. But good equipment use, not really giving any of this fodder the time of day. And you'll notice that I haven't really been taking a whole lot of damage from some of these demons. I'll start to take some though with the heavies coming in, but ooh, just barely missed him. So this is a spot that I should not be in. The Flame Belch was good because we'll get some armor off of it, and we even get some weak points. But we dropped pretty low, and we shouldn't have ran back through there. But it seems to work out because everything's coming down in there anyway. And I was so lucky that that jump pad was there. But that grenade I dropped right before that was pretty tactical, I'll say. They were all grouped up. It was bound to work out for me. So yeah, now it's just... Well, we're not out of the woods yet. I think we still have 2 Revenants and a Dread Knight. And there he is behind me. Didn't notice he was there, but we'll do alright. We see the glory kills ready, so we want to go in for that. And then we'll be able to take out this Revenant here with the Blood Punch. The Blood Punch was the weird part there, if I'm being honest. And then after that, that's all the heavies, so it's pretty much just cleanup from here on out. I think there's just 2 gargoyles left. But it was, it's hard to get a real good take on it, because, like, it should be, I'm all endgame, and I don't know if this is going to help me too much when I get there, but, you know, we'll see moving forward. So that was a pretty good run through that Slayer's Gate. I mentioned this before, but I felt a little rushed. I feel like even though I put the weapon limitations into effect on these attempts, I still feel like I'm a little too overpowered for the area, you know, and so maybe this may not be the best practice for me in terms of getting ready for like these arenas in Ultra Nightmare, or when I run through these on Nightmare even. But I think it's showing me some good strategies that I can put into place and kind of develop them from there. But with that being said, though, I'm learning a lot from watching my own gameplay and learning what I'm doing wrong and how I can fix it, and kind of putting in this kind of mindset that, you know, it's not the game's fault that I'm not that good at it. These are things that I can improve on. So, with that said, though, that's all I got for you today. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to leave a comment, if there's an arena that you want to see me analyze, take a crack at, feel free to leave a comment, let me know, and I'd be happy to give it a shot for you guys. Otherwise, if you like this video, give it a like. If you feel so inclined, you can go ahead and subscribe. But, you know, it's a free country, you do what you want. So, yeah, guys, stay safe out there, be healthy, and spread the love.